gonna be messy like it. We don't do that here. Tell people how they can reach you.
Yeah.
I can't believe you went there.
Wait.
I didn't know y'all broke up.
Okay.
Hey, they got some questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody like as far as marketing, how do you? I think the question like how do you market yourself? Or where do you market yourself on? Like what websites?
Social media. Social media.
What are the social medias? We need the handles.
Facebook, Instagram. I normally do a lot of the Facebook. I do a live every morning talking taxes, giving people an opportunity to.
So what do they find you at on social media? Ebony Calloway?
Right.
Ebony Calloway. Instagram is I have an Ebony's Tax Service Instagram. I got a Pretty Girls Grind Instagram. Yeah, that's my social media. I try to get flyers in the different small businesses.
So next time you have a fashion show or anything like that, reach out to us so we can stop by. You know what I'm saying? Show some support, show some love.
Okay.
Okay. So you said where we find it? Where's that tax? Where's your tax business at?
2214 West Market.
So if I get you 5 people, can we up the every time I bring somebody in? Can I get $5 more? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Shout out to Ebony's Tax Service. Follow her on Facebook at Ebony Calloway, Instagram at Ebony's Tax Service, and Pretty Girls Grind.
Yes.
You Snapchat, you Twitter,
No. I use a Snapchat filter.
Okay.
But I don't Snapchat. Thank y'all.
All right, we appreciate you, Ev. Thanks for stopping by. The doors are always open for you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Before you go, some outside draw.
We're going to take a picture with you, so you know what I'm saying? I cut down for us black folks braids. T ain't gonna cut it off.
And if y'all got any more questions or concerns, I got my cards right there. So if y'all got
By the way, I got somebody, Miss Cookie, she said give her a call. What's Cookie? Cookie,
Okay.
what's that movie?
Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah, she already know it. She said, when the hell was marketing?
Oh, if one get us, we all get it.
Is there somebody else trying to shoot?
Nah, we just throw them peace signs.
Thank you for Brad's song.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend.
You left your business card tag?
I do. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one. Make sure you check me when you wear it.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
I'm gonna call you too, because I ain't know about that.
Give me your cheap phone. You need to switch your tire phone.
I guess it's for both of y'all. Put it in the middle. We gotta get closer.
I got to speak into the mic, gentlemen.
Man.
Oh, no, he is.
Are you not talking this time around?
I mean, I'm talking, but they together. You straight?
So, turn it. I don't want to break nothing.
You might just have to shoot over.
That's cool. I'm with
Yeah,
that.
I still got both of y'all.
Welcome back to Urban Voices Radio. I'm your host, Brad Harrison. We're back from the break, and we have my man, Juan and Kelvin from the back. You know what?
Hold on. Before you even start, you said you have my mans, and you introduced 2 dudes.
Yeah.
So my man's, man. Look,
my
man's, look. Hey, you know what? And about a week ago, I was looking over some of your information online. Mm-hmm. I never knew what the acronym, the bag stood for.
They told you that last time.
I never knew it was Brand Ambassadors Group.
Yes.
So I was looking over it, and of course, you guys had your hand in everything from TV to radio to promotions, and now you are, I don't want to say the first, but you're one of the few minorities that have broken in to the spirits industry in Kentucky, which I know is a very difficult thing to do because it's pretty much a good old boys club.
Yes, it is.
It's a good old boys club.
Working and sounding.
So the new brand is Legacy Wine and Spirits.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the brand and how you will find. Because I know last time you came up, you were talking about heading in that direction.
Yes,
you were talking about
yes.
liquor, and now you've officially broke into the industry.
Okay, so the brand ambassador group, The Bag.
Bring that mic over.
The brand ambassador group, The Bag. We actually was in the beginning stages of Boosie Juice. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we started that. There was no Boosie Juice before me or Calvin had that.
So the Boosie Juice, and for those who don't know, the rapper Boosie Badass had a liquor line called Boosie Juice.
Yes.
That originated from Kentucky?
No, it originated out of South Carolina.
Okay.
But we are the reason that it was ever introduced in Kentucky.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when we was introduced to being a distributor. So it's a situation of basically a distributor is the person in between a distillery and a retailer. We are the only black distributors.
So the distributor is actually the person that puts the brand into the stores?
That's it. That's it. So for instance, we register liquors to be sold here. So any brand new liquor, like all the liquors that we are ready to launch are all brand new to Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So
You have a business card?
yes, we do. We have.
We got a lounge right now. It's about to be open in February.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is this. With Kentucky having the reputation for bourbon, and a lot of the bourbons in Kentucky are homegrown, how difficult was it to get into that industry? And now that you're bringing liquors in from out of state, was that an issue?
Well, it's a lot of new drinkers. You understand? So traditional bourbon drinkers are not really fond of the new methods or the fact that a South Carolina or something outside of Kentucky is called a bourbon. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's still the same process. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with it being so many new brands and new markets, the traditional bourbon drinker is kind of scooting to the side. It's a whole new era of bourbon drinkers right now, where they don't mind flavors. They don't mind trying new techniques as far as like, our filtering technique is different than everybody else's. So our liquor is actually aged through the filtering process. You know what I'm saying? So it's a new world of liquor out there right now. So
you're saying with Kentucky, when we're speaking of Kentucky, with the traditional bourbon drinker, they're not open to maybe a vanilla bourbon or apple bourbon.
They're not doing anything with flavor.
Okay.
Anything with flavor.
So what made y'all want to get into the? What made y'all want to get into the liquor business though?
Well, we started off with just like promotions for liquor companies, and we were doing like events and trying to break new brands in the area. And what we ran into was, in order to even start promoting a brand, you want to make sure that the brand is available. And then what we were running into is we couldn't find distributors willing to pick up the brands that we were promoting. So that's what made us like, okay, well, we got to take this in our own hands, and we really got to figure out how we can bring the brands in that we want to mess with and do it legally. So that's how we got into the path of becoming distributors. So we can pick up any brand, mess with any brand we want, and at the same time do the promotions for it.
Okay, now when it comes to the liquor stores, is it difficult to build a relationship as a new distributor? Is it difficult to build that relationship to actually get your product that you're promoting into those particular stores?
Yes, it is. It's difficult because a lot of stores, they want to know like what's your plan for promotion. They don't want to get product and have it sit on the shelf. So basically, it's all about how you approach them with your marketing plan, what you plan to do to move the products. With us, we were lucky because we were doing the branding and promotions already. We already had retail relationships, so we're using our retail relationships. We're using all the relationships that we've had over the years, like doing the TV, all the way back to doing the music label and all the way back to doing the TV show. It's like all of those relationships are now coming into play when we have something that, we can tie all this together with. You know what I'm saying? So like the liquor kind of helps us do that.
It connects the dots.
Yeah, it does, and we're just using all our relationships to do this, this new venture for us.
Man, look, I'm a huge fan on two ends of this. Because I'm a liquor drinker. Yeah, I'm a liquor drinker, right? But when it comes to liquor consumption, often we see these major corporations, these major brands target the African American community. They target like a lot of people think Puffy owns Ciroc, but he doesn't own Ciroc. Well, I think he has a stake in it, but he's not the creator of Ciroc. He's more like a brand ambassador of the right. And then I've seen like in the last maybe 7 to 10 years, I've seen Jack Daniels try to make the move with the Jack Daniels honey in urban environments because that's a drink that they can kind of push to the urban consumer.
They most definitely know that we spend money on liquor. Right. And like I said, they understand too that every year it's a new generation of drinker. They not worried about, like we seen the Jack Honey movement. Me and him went to Arts, Beats, and Lyrics. Right. And from that point on, it's been everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's
like an Apple Crown and stuff like that.
Yes.
Also,
that's what gave us the green light to do it too, because we understand that it's a new consumer, and nobody's scared to try new drinks. Like I said, at one point in time, the only drinks you really drunk was Henny, and you know what I'm saying. But now it's you know, and
black people started to drink bourbon because 10 years ago, black people didn't drink bourbon.
No. That's another thing. It's like we recognize early. It's a movement. Like it's a movement. Like as far as like black professionals and
culture.
It's a culture movement. So it's with bourbon and cigar smoking and you know just
experiences.
Being
What us as blacks are buying into at our age, I guess, is experiences. So we just don't want to go to something. When we leave, we left with a vision or a visual, you know what I'm saying? And we left with experience. So, like, you're going to be able to tie, like, coming up, we have a lot of tastings coming up. And we're going to implement the bag legacy. So when you leave here, we want you to leave with a cup, fun, and you know what we're trying to do. So where we trying to go?
What type of flavors are y'all introducing if it's not giving too much?
Nah, you good.
No. We got a black cherry bourbon. We got a lime tequila. We got mango vodka.
And these are flavors that make sense.
Yeah.
These are flavors that make sense.
And they're really, really good too. And then we also got something special with we got a regular bourbon. And it's actually going to be one of the first black-owned bourbon companies out of Kentucky. So we're going to be launching them. We're going to be distributing them too. So that's going to be a big movement right there.
I was going to ask you that. In the industry, are there any? Because we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry when you're talking about liquor.
In Kentucky alone, billions of dollars are being generated.
And it's a global industry, right? Yes. Because when I was looking into like some sponsorships with maybe like with Hennessy and different companies, right, or different cognacs, they do a bulk of their sales like in France, places like this. So they do their sales market is larger sometimes outside the U.S. than it is in the U.S. Yeah. But being that in the U.S. we have a multi-billion-dollar industry, it's great to see some African Americans finally becoming, moving up to the forefront of those movements. But is there a significant amount of black-owned liquor brand? Are there a significant amount of black-owned liquor brands out there?
Yes, we actually going to a Spirits Festival next week in Atlanta. So we're going to be introduced to more. But we actually messing with a lady out of Chicago with Juan. I don't know her name, but he knows her name.
Somebody knows her name. So.
But literally, we have local choice. The three brands that we actually messing with is owned by a white woman, a black woman, and a black male. So we understand how hard it is to get licensed here without getting raped. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is Republic and the other bigger distributors, they have a monopoly on what they're going to allow on the shelves and what they don't. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't really mess with you, they're going to tax you, where you damn near paying them to get your product on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? So it's just we seen
So you're saying that it's other distributors can keep you from getting your liquor distributed?
You gotta have a distributor.
It's a dirty game, man.
Yes, you gotta have a distributor.
It's like with us getting into the game, it's really we also create opportunities because it's motivation as far as like people seeing that you can get into the alcohol industry, and it's also a situation of ownership because now, you can own a liquor company all day, but if you don't have a distributor, then you're just gonna be sitting on a bunch of liquor. So it's like having a distributor that's willing to work with the smaller guys or the up and coming owners is big, because now you can be a liquor company owner and you can mess with us and we can be your distributor. You know what I'm saying? Which is key.
Now, have you reached out to the homie